Legends. That's Cerberus versus Acion. Acion ba yun? Acion, yan. So, yesterday, ang naglaro sa League of Legends semifinals ay ang IPT versus Mineski. Right now, kung sino mananalo sa dalawang team ay mapupunta sa finals na gaganapin bukas. Same time, 12:30 dito sa ESL Arena for MPGL Season 8. Now, casters Riku and Atlas, take it away.
And it's gonna be the match between Acion Arena and Cerberus eSports. As I said, again, we'd like to introduce ourselves. We'll be your casters for today. I'm Riku. Together with me is
Atlas.
Yes, sir. So, what's your take on this? Who do you think is? Because it's a best of one.
Yeah,
so
it's the best one. So
they can pull out any pocket picks, whatever they want, surprise picks at
it's
this
do or
first
die
game.
for both of these teams, and I feel like both of these teams have a lot to prove.
Yeah.
Acion Arena, they're kind of relatively new compared to the rest of the teams here in MPGL, and it's going to be really exciting to see what they pull out to solidify themselves as a team here in the MPGL. And as for Cerberus eSports, it's really interesting to see how they've grown.
Yeah, that's true.
They have a lot of history behind them. You've got Celestial, you've got even a little bit of Naga and IPT Blue there. So
Yeah.
Even after these many roster changes and reorganizations, it's going to be super, super fun to see how they've melded together as a team. So it's going to be explosive here, and especially as the best of one.
Yeah, take note that Cerberus eSports were the Leg 2 champions. So, it's more of like beating, how can Acion Arena beat Cerberus again? Because I believe during Leg 2, they've already faced off. And yeah, unfortunately, Cerberus at the time was the better team. But let's see, it's been weeks since the Leg 2 of MPGL. Let's see if this is going to be a new Acion Arena. Because for me, Acion Arena, their bot lane is pretty scary.
Yeah, that's absolutely scary. On the side of Cerberus, however, I'm really partial to the top lane, Suzaku. He had a really good showing on the Cannon and the Jace in his previous games. It's so fun to see, and of course, I do think it's going to be about the junglers, however. I keep saying this in any game.
Yeah.
The junglers are so important in this meta. They dictate the tempo. They dictate, it's like, it's a jungler. If you're the worst team, the jungler can tip the scales. But if you're the better team, the jungler can keep that advantage going. So it's really about how the jungle operates in the early game and mid game rather.
Yeah.
So it's up to Moraita Boy and Life Howling to really set the tempo for their teams and allow them to just pop off.
Yeah, Life Howling has been doing really well for Cerberus for the past few games based on Leg 2. But however, though, we've noticed for Acion Arena, one of their weaknesses is that they put all their eggs on, what do you call this, the bot lane sometimes. And
yeah, that's the.
Yeah. So anyway, before we start, we'd like to watch a video about Cerberus eSports. There you have it. Those are the players of Cerberus eSports.
Yeah, with their swagger crossed arms on. Yeah.
Yeah, it's called the eSports pose.
Yeah, the
You gotta do
eSports
that
pose.
every time. There's a photo shoot or the video. You
In
do
Korea,
that.
they like that thing where you reach out to the camera.
Oh yeah, actually some of the pro players on other countries do different kinds of poses. Like they do this.
And then you can't forget Dyrus's like. It's just so fun. You can't take it seriously because it's Dyrus.
Yeah, it's Dyrus.
But it's really interesting since Shadow is the shot caller
Yeah.
for this team there in the bot lane, so it's gonna be a little harder, I think, to target that, to try and tilt the bot lane, because usually it takes a lot of coordination. It's really hard to tilt that, so it's really up to Moraita Boy to shut down the jungler for Cerberus, because that's the key to their victory.
Yeah, and one of the strengths of Cerberus Esports anyway is their macro strategies that
definitely.
they've been applying for the past few MPGLs, and that's why it's really impressive. I mean, if ever they do, they do move forward towards the finals, I feel like it's gonna be an explosive one, because it's a new Mineski roster, it's a new Cerberus roster compared to the PGS, because, Life Howling, I mean, it's not Chalk in the mid lane this time around, it's going to be Trevor, right?
So it's going to be a lot of changes in the dynamics, not just with the teams, but also with the teams that they're facing.
Exactly.
So it's a huge change of pace, a huge change of scenery. It's going to be really, really fun to watch. I'm excited to see this matchup. It's a best of one, just to remind you guys. So
yeah, that's the thing.
These teams are going to be pulling out the best that they can get, because it's do or die.
Yeah, because I believe during the LCL match, although it's not a professional match, but they brought up the Misfortune and Ash.
The
So,
Misfortune and Ash.
anything can happen, because best of one, there are times where some teams decide to pick a linear composition where, you know what, they will rely on just the late game. Some teams would have early game, but if they don't win the early game, they cannot do anything come mid, come late.
Yeah, it's going to be...
So it's all a matter of what type of team composition and how they're going to execute it. But first, I'm sure all you guys are excited, but let's watch a video about Asian Arena. Ayan. So those are the players of Asian Arena. So ang pinaka, what do you call this, mga star players ng Asian, aside from the bot lane, of course, we can't forget about Moraita Boy.
Yeah, he is the team leader for these guys, and as a jungler, that's a lot on your shoulders to be both the one roaming around the map and trying to control the game, and being the one that's leading your team, setting up their victories. So Moraita Boy, lots of props to him for carrying that role, and that's why the jungler, I keep repeating this, it's so important, and it's going to be really interesting to see how Moraita Boy just weaves through the lanes here, trying to gank, counter gank, and counter jungle.
Yeah, definitely try to relieve the pressure, because at the opposite side, Cerberus Esports, Marky and Shadow, definitely scary kung nakakatakot yung bot lane ng Asia, nakakatakot din yung sa...
And the top lane as well.
And the top lane,
so you really have to shut down all of the laners, and that's a really heavy load onto Moraita Boy. He needs to set up his solo laners for success, needs to keep the pressure off of his bot lane as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, lots of
I'm actually
action
pretty
gonna
excited
happen
about
here.
the Jason and Suzaku matchup in the top lane, because Jason has been doing so well against experienced top laners. I mean, yung sobrang tagal na sa MPGL, yung sobrang tagal na sa PGS, yung mga ganon tipo. So, it's all a matter of matchups though, kasi kahit paminsan, kahit ano pang galing mo, there's so much a champion can do lang
Yeah, the
naman.
draft can really make or break it for these teams.
Exactly. Kaso, Asian Arena, yung based sa Leg 2, I keep seeing, I remembered, I kinda, not ranted, but kinda saw a weakness of, Karma mid, Echo, Karma mid, and then Jinx bot lane. And then they would put everything on support build. No, not an early damage Karma type. And then just go hope for the best, protect Jinx, make her ramp up. But the problem is, kulang sa damage.
Yeah, there's
when
huge
they
holes
crash.
in that kind of composition. So they've had weeks to prepare for this. So they definitely have something up their sleeves, I hope. So
Yeah, it's definitely a different Asian arena because I believe what patch was it when it was like I think it was patch 6.18.
6.18,
Yeah,
the patch
so
that Worlds
we're-
is being played on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we are at 21. So a lot of changes, a lot of time to draft some more strategies, and they've been joining. I'm pretty sure both of these teams have been joining a lot of tournaments, na rin outside. So ngayon, it's all about how they will put this team dynamic and how they will revolve around this patch. Because I believe kung sa Mineski, di ba, ang ginamit nila kahapon, Ivern.
Yeah, EXO said that he really liked his team picking Ivern. There's so much tools that Ivern has. I myself, I'm not impressed with the rest of his kit.
Yeah.
Daisy, the Trigger Seed, the Root. I'm not really impressed by that. But all of his power, I believe, comes from being able to make brush. You can make sieges really safer. You can confuse the enemy team. So there's lots of mind games you can do with that. Lots of safety. So I'm hoping that one of these junglers will pick that up, have learned that over the weeks, or because Mineski is so quick at adapting to the meta, and that's mark of a good team, right? So I'm really hoping that Asian Arena and Cerberus have also picked up that, realize that Ivern is really strong in the recent patches.
Yun nga eh. Kasi I kind of remembered how patches not only affects, us, the players, the summoners, but it also affects what the strengths of their team. Like, sinabi natin, alam ko diniscuss natin before when it was the Imperium Pro Team match versus the, versus Mineski. Light, one of the really star players of IPT as well. Pero we remember him as, oh my god, Victor, really badass Victor player, really badass Azir player. But, they got nerfed. They're not the popular
They're not
picks
the powerhouses
anymore.
that they were
They're not the
before.
powerhouses anymore.
So,
So, yun.
adaptability is really one of the greatest strengths that a team can have, because we don't get the Philippines doesn't get the privilege of say tournament realms.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
you really have to adapt quickly to the patches that come out, because
It's difficult. It's difficult
it's
because
really difficult.
you throw in patch after patch and after patch, and then you find out, oh nope, this is gonna be the patch that we're gonna play in the tournament. We have to adjust right away. So
It makes regions like the Philippines such a unique, competitive battlefield.
yeah,
And I feel that that's one of the strengths of the region. Even though we are a wildcard region, we are here in Southeast Asia, I think that quickness and adaptability that the environment demands really helps our players, show their skill.
yeah. And when we talk about Worlds, I remembered last year's Worlds. Everybody had high expectations on LPL, China.
Yeah, me too. I had
Right?
so high expectations.
Me too. So I was like EDG. But then they lost. They weren't even able to get out of group stages. And then people were like, it's because China couldn't adapt to the meta. It's something
Yeah.
like that. So
Not
their
Pai Howler.
meta did not fit into the world's meta. Something like that.
That's unfortunate. And speaking of Worlds,
I'm so hyped for Worlds.
I'm so hyped for Worlds. Yeah, I'm pretty sad that NA is like, I mean,
What's
I mean, they look the strongest that they could have in the past years. But really big rookie mistakes. There's no excuse for that. So
yeah.
they blundered. I'm tearing up.
Yeah. Oh, come on, don't cry. It's
TSM.
okay. It's okay.
Yeah, so-
TSM. Yeah, you've been a loyal fan for TSM. So
And NA in general, so it's really disheartening. But that's Worlds. The strongest teams, the ones that can adapt, the ones that can bring out the most unexpected or the most tested compositions. Those are the ones that rise to the top. And it seems like the Koreans again
they still
have such a high
are.
chance of winning.
I know they're still at the top, and then it's gonna be Korea versus Korea. I remembered we kind of ranted before. No, oh no, it's gonna be Korea versus Korea again.
I mean, it's fine with me, Korea, because the games are always so fun to watch.
Yeah, it's definitely so fun, but the skill gap of SKT, I remembered when they were against Rocks Tigers. The skill gap is just too far.
and we thought the region gap between Korea and the rest was closing.
Yeah.
And it just seems like Korea can adapt so fast. I think that has a lot to do with how demanding the solo queue is. You've got, you say, in solo queue, face up against Faker. But then rising to like challenger level, you have to face a lot of scripters as well. And it's such a problem in Korea.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the nuances in the Korean environment that makes these players and organizations so top tier.
Yeah, and I think that's a problem for every game and for every region as well. And what do you call this? I had a topic in mind, but for some reason it flew away.
Oh, just like NA's dream.
Just like Enemy's dreams, you're pouring salt into your own heart.
No, Atlas equals Alets.
Ah, well played. What do you call that again? Is that not an anatomy? Wait.
Anatomy. I don't remember.
The one where you mix the words to the letters just to form another word. Anagram.
Yeah, an anagram.
It is an anagram. No, it's not actually an. You took off another word, alat, right?
Yeah, so I have no idea. But
So-
in any case, yeah, it's really interesting see how different all these regions are and how unique they are, and that really makes one appreciate our own
Yeah.
scene here as well. So many players, so many personalities, and I feel like really the adaptability of our players is what makes us unique from other regions as well, even other Southeast Asian.
Yeah, that's why I'm pretty proud of the Philippine region because, just as you said earlier, wala tayong tournament realm.
Yeah.
But when we see them form the meta slowly, and then eventually NA or LCK or whatever is already in the current patch in the tournament realm that we used to play on.
Yeah.
You see similar picks. Like, oh wow, so if we were at the same time, then most likely pare-parehas lang pala yung pick. So parang nagiging proud ka na they managed to form this. Na makikita natin yung meta una dito sa Philippines and makikita natin eventually dun sa ibang regions. Like, the only unique thing that I saw sa Philippines before, nung I think around PGS 2 splits ago, was, no, 1 split ago.
Yeah.
It's the Zac.
Yeah, Zach.
Zac was so popular here. Diba?
Yeah, before it was mainstream in other regions, Zach was popular because Zach is like second place for every jungler.
Yeah.
He ganks from a long range. He clears pretty decently. So he's just second to all of these categories as a jungler. But all of these combined make him so strong because of how versatile he is.
Yeah.
And no matter what position you are playing as a jungler, whether you're behind or trying to step forward, you can use the tools that Zach has.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's why the Philippine teams picked him up so early, is because they really want these Swiss Army knife champions as well. And another thing I've noticed in the Philippine meta is how we have a higher concentration, with higher volume of teams that like these
Tanky,
off meta as well,
yeah.
as well as tanky. We had AX before, and then a kind of little trend followed with the LCL teams as well.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of concentration of these, not really troll, but unconventional picks.
Unconventional. So you
Yeah.
did experience the misfortune support in your rank Q games.
No.
No.
I explicitly avoided rank games.
Oh, so when you saw Rock Tigers use the MF and Ash combo, you avoided rank.
Yeah, I was like, maybe I'll wait a week.
You wait a week till it, passes off, and then maybe after Worlds.
Maybe
right?
after Worlds.
Maybe they'll pick
When-
something
yeah.
different from Worlds. Right? Yeah.
It's really interesting how much influence the pro player picks have on regular players. And I feel like the understanding of these pro players of what the champions can do and cannot do is really what makes these picks effective, not the champions themselves. It's the
Yeah.
knowledge of what you can do. So really marks of a pro player is how different a pro player is from, someone who just plays at home or in a comp shop.
Exactly. That's why
It's the mindset.
lagi natin pinapaalala sa mga summoners natin dyan. Hi! Sa mga summoners natin dyan, ngayon na nasa ESGS, that there are picks that you cannot pick on solo queue rank. Because pro players use those picks because sometimes they build around it, and you cannot force people to pick what you want to pick just because you're picking this.
Yeah, it's like your fifth pick and your team's already chosen like Ezreal and Braum and stuff, and then your fifth pick is like, I'll go Yasuo when only one of my other teammates has a knockup and it's his ultimate.
Oh,
so
no.
yeah, it's really the difference in the mindset and seeing Acion Arena and Cerberus here, the mindsets that they have. This will decide what if they win, if they take away this one single game, this one chance they have. So whoever wins this game will face off against Mineski in the grand finals. And Mineski, they've shown to themselves to be such a powerful team, even beating out Imperium yesterday.
Yeah, super. Because just as you said, they adapted to the meta ng mabilisan. And for Cerberus kasi, the momentum is on their side kasi sila yung champions ng Leg 2.
Yeah, they were second place in spring and the champions in Leg 2. So they have that real momentum going for them. And this is their chance to prove that they have completely solidified as a team, as a unit.
Yeah.
Compared to, say, Imperium Pro Team, they're like big brother.
Yeah, they're big brother. Sister teams, but they're big brother.
Yeah.
Pero it's like picking up the star player then Suzaku. The problem kasi facing Cerberus eSports is that there's so many threats on their side. If you want to shut down the bot lane, you have to worry about Suzaku. But that still depends on what he's gonna pick. But based on what happened at Leg 2 nung he was on the Jace, was on a Caneda, super scary, right?
So it's really up to Moraita Boy here because if your laners statistically cannot compete with the laners of, say, Cerberus, you need to rely on your jungler to make the picks, to make the ganks, to put really lots of pressure. So Moraita Boy really has a lot on his shoulders. I keep saying this, but he really does.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, I know you guys are excited about the match, and we'll be right back after 5 minutes, so stay tuned. Oh, I'm actually just kidding, because, I like joking around.
I think April Fool's is over.
April Fool's! Early
Trick or
April
treat.
Fool's. Trick or treat. Yon, that's a better way to put it, Atlas. So anyway, we'll proceed to the game right now, so just hold on tight. And actually, I just want to ask you, any predictions on this one, though?
Looking at this, I think that Acion Arena has a good chance. However, I'll have to give this to Cerberus. Their experience both as individual players and how they practice and meshed as a unit since the reformation of their roster. I feel like that's enough to pull them through this one game.
Yeah. Well, I might have to agree with you on that one because aside from, having the momentum, having a lot of experienced star players, there is a potential upset.
Yeah, that's true. Acion Arena cannot be underestimated.
True.
Because, as you said, their bot lane is very scary. Moraita Boy as well is no slouch. So it's really going to be
once
really
they get the
interesting.
ball rolling, they're the type to just keep going and suffocate your resources, suffocate your territory, and then just keep on going until the game is finished. They're not the type to, even though they're like in such a big lead, they don't,
they don't try to force the game too hard.
Yeah, they don't try to force the game too hard, parang making mistakes na parang sobrang excited. They plan it carefully pa rin. They're slow and steady, and because they know that they don't want to risk it. So
you play not to lose.
Yeah,
to not lose.
To not lose. So on the side of Cerberus eSports, malaki yung chance talaga nila manalo dito. Gaya na sinabi ko, experience, a lot of star players, a lot of threat, but again, anything can happen. This is the best of one. We had high hopes for China last time. We had high hopes for China. I had high hopes for Taiwan actually this year. Kasi jump faction naman. Kasi go LMS. Pero sadly, none of them were able to get out.
They did have a good showing as a whole.
Yeah.
And I actually was surprised that H2K got out of groups.
Yeah.
Compared to, because they EU as a region had such a rough start in the first week of Worlds, and NA looked like the strongest ever Western region. And then, but after that, it kind of normalized. As is usual for NA, you give high hopes to fans. It's like Hotshot GG was right. It's like win a few games to give fans false hope. The CLG wheel from back then.
I kind of remember this meme, but I forgot where it's parang targeted at. Yung parang na they're just trying to lose. Okay, it's SKT.
Yeah.
They're losing group stages, one game or 2 games para lang paasahin tayo. 'Di ba? Na parang oh my god, Korea is losing, yung mga ganon.
Like,
Tapos yung pala pagdating ng semifinals.
Some ninja tricks right there.
Yeah, those are ninja tricks. Anyway, the game will start later, so don't go away. We'll have a 10-minute break. See ya!
Okay.
the Mineski Pro Gaming League Season 8 League of Legends. Rise from the rest. We'll be your shoutcasters. I'm Riku together with
Atlas.
Yes, Marie, and we're going to be witnessing the match between Acion Arena versus Cerberus eSports.
This is going to be just a best of one, so this is really do or die for both of these teams. Both of them have so much to prove. Let's get live into our drafting phase, and straight up the bans are against the bot lane here for Cerberus. Caitlyn and Jinx, and Mimo has here been actually very scary, as you said, on that bot lane. Side of Acion Arena, though, Cassiopeia and Jace both really scary on the side of these players for Cerberus. What do you think might be their last bans here?
Could be. I don't think they'll ban something from Morita Boy. It could be a possibility because Eiko, Morita Boy have a really wide champion pool.
Yeah, it's hard to ban them.
Yeah, it's hard to ban them. So, yeah, Kennen will be a direct ban onto Jason, so nobody's gonna get the Kennen in this game at this point. So at least, you know, they want to shut down Suzaku as much as they can. Trevor as well. So it's pretty balanced because Marky, you can't ban Marky because basically, if they are gonna concentrate ban on Acion Arena with their AD carries, then they're also attacking their own side, Marky.
That's true.
Right? So the only choice that they have is either Lucian and Ezreal. And people have been saying, you know, Ezreal, Marky on an Ezreal is not one of the best.
Yeah, it's not that stellar compared to his other picks. And looking at the final bans here for both of these teams, it seems like they both want to level the playing field for all of their picks, and straight up prioritizing the Karma for Cerberus.
Because Cerberus eSports, they have either two people that play Karma, and Cerberus eSports also revolves around the Karma.
It's really a flexible pick.
It is a very flexible pick, and strong pick. It's a strong pick for both sides. And I kind of remember that Cerberus can actually pick Sivir. Imperium Pro Team managed to get all-in engage sort of composition where you
the super speedy Sonic the Hedgehog gotta go fast composition.
Yes.
So that's gonna be really scary if they get that set up. But in the response here, Acion Arena instantly locking in that at least. One of the queens of the jungle, being able to put up a lot of early pressure, and Lucian will be another lock-in here. So lots of early game potential here for Acion Arena.
Yeah, that's definitely what they're trying to aim for. But just as I said, there are only two, unless Marky would switch it up to a Sivir. Definitely not gonna be the MF Ash combo.
Yeah,
I don't think.
Not.
I don't think
it will be able to trade as good with the Lucian here. But it is scary for them if they have to go for the Ezreal. What other option do they have though?
Yeah.
So really, it's a big disadvantage for them if Marky is forced on that Ezreal. If they go Sivir, it can go toe-to-toe with the Lucian. However, they both have really short range, but Lucian has a lot more tools to reposition, a lot more tools to dodge out the boomerang blades.
Yeah.
So it's still really hard even with a spell shield. So there he goes. He locks in the Ezreal, and there Howling is eyeing the Olaf here.
Similar pick to Imperium Pro Team on the jungle on Suez. So it's gonna be an Olaf jungle, but we shouldn't shut our doors just yet. It could be top Olaf.
Yeah, lots of flexibility here in Cerberus. If they're feeling really brave here, they might even bait it out with Trevor on that Ezreal, but I don't really think he's that much of an Ezreal player recently.
Then again, this is the best of one. They can pull out any sort of, what do you call this? Surprises.
Yeah.
So this is their time. And the early Olaf pick, that gives them the right, not really the right, but the counter potential, which is if they do pick the jungle, that would make sense because it's terrain that shuts down Olaf when he does activate his Ragnarok.
Yeah,
so,
can't walk through these pillars and these walls.
Yeah, so you know, Cerberus eSports giving a lot of room for what do you call this? Counter pick.
Yeah, anti-counter pick.
Yeah.
So it's really, this draft pace is really intense for both of these teams, and they lock in their bot lane completely. That's going to be Lucian and the Nami here for Mirmo and Beast Boy.
I love Asian Arena's drafting. You know why?
So far, me as
'Cause
well.
as I was watching the drafting, when I saw Carmen Ezreal locked in, oh my god, that's 2 poke. They would need sustain. The only meta sustained champion for the support pool would be Nami. At this
Nami
point.
as well has a lot of potential for all-ins.
Yeah.
Just wipe out that Karma and that Ezreal with a slow from the Tide Caller's Blessing, the heals, the bubbles. There's so much potential
Tidal Wave
here
as well,
for Mirmo and Beast Boy to just pop off. Let's see what Cerberus has in store for them. The
Yeah.
Lulu
So definitely,
is
yeah.
being eyed.
It could be a mid Karma. Oh no, wait. They're still trying to balance things out. So it's gonna be a top Lulu,
Wow.
top Lulu, mid Syndra, then
And support Karma
yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
that's a lot of magic damage coming from Cerberus here. So
I'm not sure about this pick because
Yeah,
it's
me
very
too.
situational. If Cerberus manages to snowball this, then it's okay. They're in a safe spot.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of fast DPS, I'm not quite sure because Syndra release her ultimate. It
Then-
takes a while to deal DPS.
yeah, it takes a while to set up all the maximum amount of damage you can with Unleashed
Yeah.
Power. And in that time, if they go for the Vigar here, they might actually just be able to burst him out. So
That is
Trevor,
true.
Yeah, so
So a very risky pick if they, do lock in one of those Vigar. But if they do pick the Rise, all they just have to do is keep pressuring Trevor.
Yeah.
Level 6, that's where Eiko would lose the matchup. When Syndra reaches level 6.
And they have a lot of potential here for Asian Arena in the mid and late game. And the early game is nothing to be scoffed at as well. So Cerberus has to outpace Asian Arena here. They have no room to play very slowly with his top Lulu, and the support Karma. They have to outpace and outplay Cerberus early in the game.
Yeah.
But if they don't, they just run out of steam so quickly against a composition like this that has, say, the pick potential from the Elise, the burst, and the mobility from the Lucian, as well as the sustained damage from the Rise. It's so difficult to deal with if you don't get that early lead.
Well, for Cerberus eSports, I do agree with you, but at least they have some sort of their fight winning condition is quite clear. They should be the ones to initiate first, most definitely.
Really playing fast and furious here
Yeah.
for them.
And most likely, if an Olaf activates Ragnarok, then goes towards the enemy backline and disrupts and just cause chaos on the opposite side of the team, there's a Karma for the follow-up. You don't need a Sivir, it's fine. You just have that mantra inspired and you're good.
The mantra Defiance is really one of the keys here for this composition. Just speed up that Olaf, or if the Olaf is already ahead, you can speed up the rest of
Their
your team for the follow-up as well. And the Ezreal, very, very safe. The Syndra as well has its own her own form of CC and also self-peel with a push away with a Scatter the Weak.
Yeah.
So it is pretty safe and also explosive as a composition, but I'm still worried about what if they don't get the lead that they want? What if they can't dictate the tempo? So
Yeah.
Moraita Boy really needs to put a blockade on the resources that they can get.
Yeah.
And they can do this by counter jungling, denying Life Howling from being from having any pressure at all. And
Yeah.
as an Elise, that might be actually a bit easy.
But the thing is, we have already mentioned during leg 2 that, maybe Markion and Ezreal may
Yeah.
not be the best choice, but he has proven it wrong already during the championship game match on leg 2. But that's just one game.
Yeah, that might be a fluke, but then again, he has had these weeks to train on that.
Yeah, true that.
And if they were banning like that in the drafting phase, that actually might be true, that he practiced specifically Ezreal for this best of 1.
Yeah, just making sure that the plan will go, reading your opponent's moves. Like, okay, I'm gonna ban Jinx, I'm gonna ban Caitlyn. Oh, what's gonna be the, ano na lang mga champions matitira? Lucian, Ezreal. For sure, ipipick nila yan.
Yeah, because they get a priority on that once they get the second rotation for the picks. So it's really a lot of preparation and complete awareness of your surroundings. Unagi.
Salmon skin roll. Props to everybody who got that reference. Anybody watch us friends out there? Anyway, yeah, moving on.
Moving on.
As for Asian Arena, I'm not as worried as Cerberus' comp, mainly because based on the comp alone, hindi sila magkukulang sa damage. They still scale very well, very consistent. But again, execution. Kasi
Yeah, the
if
execution
they,
is key here.
Yeah, if they allow the early kills on Cerberus' side, they could potentially lose. Because I feel like Asian Arena is not the type to play from behind. They should
Yeah,
really...
that's usually the trend for these statistically weaker teams.
Yeah.
So it's really going to be up to Asian Arena to try and keep up with the pace that Cerberus will pull on them.
Yeah, that's true. But, best of one. I'm just so excited.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to get into the Summoner's Rift and see what's in store. Because it's pretty clear to me what kind of, what kind of comp they're trying to
Yeah, the win conditions are both really clear here. I think though that, we said this, Asian Arena has a lot more insurance, I think is the key word here. If they don't really, as long as they don't lose hard in the early game, if they go even, just keep up with the pace. They don't have to play super fast. They can play a little bit slow while keeping up with the pace, keeping up with the Trailblaze. And in the mid game, in the late game, they can pop off. They have the Lucian and the Rise to help them survive this.
Do you remember if Syndra has a teleport? No, right?
No.
No. Because you would want lane safety more than the other lane safety.
That's true.
But Rise has that capability to
The Realm Warp.
To just immediately respond and make it, I don't know, a 3v4 or a numbers advantage, if you will. So that's where Asian Arena can play around on. So both of these teams are praying for the early game, obviously, that it really goes well, especially mid-game na rin. Because during the laning phase, that's where, Rise can make a lot of plays, make a lot of sneaky plays, because there's only this small area between these outer turrets where you can play around on, compared to when all the first outer turrets gets destroyed, then the map gets harder for both of
And
these
Rise as well has a really versatile laning phase. He can go with a dueling with a Rune Prison as well with a lot of sustained damage, but you can't ignore the wave clear potential he has too. And if the mid lane does not keep up with the wave clear that Rise can pull out, he can just easily realm warp to another lane, keep roaming while you're stuck there, just trying to clear the waves and push it back.
Yeah,
so
true that.
That's one of the ways that Asian Arena can pull off this early game and outplay through the mid lane. And I think still, Muraita Boy needs to set up that vision, set up that pressure, so that their mid laner can actually perform that.
True that. On the side of, that's for Asian Arena. But on the side of Cerberus eSports, their advantage is they can immediately get one person off because of the burst of Syndra. Let's just say kulang yung damage ng Syndra, cannot kill a person immediately. I kind of wanna see if anybody has exhaust.
Ooh.
Yes, they do. Well, there you have it, guys. Welcome to the Mineski Pro Gaming League Season 8 League of Legends Rise from the Rest. This is the match between Cerberus eSports and Asian Arena. On the flip side, we've got Cerberus eSports. Top lane, we've got Suzaku, live howling on the Olaf. In the mid lane, Trevor with the Syndra, Marky, Tailgrill, and Shadow on the Karma.
As for the red side, we have Asian Arena to the top lane. Is of course Jason on that Trundle. Muraita Boy, the team captain, is that Spider prowling in the jungle at least. For the mid lane is of course on that Rise, I'm sorry. For the bot lane duo, it's going to be Mirmo and Beast Boy on that Nami and Lucian duo. So let's get to it.
Alright, so far so good. I guess no early game kills, no summoner spells burn, so walang cheeky play na nangyari sa unang mga level 1 start. Pero it's understandable for the top lane to
Muraita Boy though really wants this first kill.
Oh, there you have it. It's going to be a double stop for Muraita Boy. And the Cocoon Blast, Suzaku uses a shield. That won't do you any good. First blood, meanwhile here in the bot lane, going to be 3-man. Actually, Flash being used for Nami. And Mirmo closely killing off Shadow, almost.
Wow. Moraito Boy immediately goes straight for the top lane. Knows Suzaku is a threat, and as a Lulu, the early laning isn't as dominant as his usual picks, as the Jace, as the Cannon. So really, Moraito Boy well played on there, immediately going before the bush is warded. So that's an early lead. He's able to counter trouble a little bit on that side. So that's a pretty huge advantage. It's just 500 gold, but the pressure is definitely there for Moraito Boy and Asian Arena.
Oh, okay, hold that thought. That's gonna be a root trying to land onto Mirmo. It will connect. Meanwhile, Shadow is in trouble. No summoner spells burnt on that exchange, but Cerberus eSports bot lane should watch out for any aggressive sudden moves from Mirmo.
Yeah, it seems like most of these teams just want to constantly watch
Oh wow, that's actually pretty smart because they know that Mirmo has no mana. Meanwhile, Shadow still has a flash, can still escape. Very, very scary CRB making the move and actually making the best out of it.
Yeah, very scary, and like you said, both of these teams' bot lanes will want to dominate, will want to fight, and they are brave. They are staying here in the bot lane. So it's up to maybe Life Howling or Moraito Boy to put the pressure, but they're quite a ways away for the bot lane. So for now, Mirmo and Marky just gonna farm up, wait for the next opportunity to trade. So it's up to how fast their mechanics are in the next fight here to decide who gets. Oh.
Wow, very aggressive from Mirmo. Trying to recharge his mana first, and then relentless pursuing in.
Relentlessly pursued in.
Yeah.
And I'm actually interested in what runes that Mirmo has, because looking at the way he's playing, he might actually have mana regen runes on his blues instead of the usual magic resist.
Oh.
So that's actually, looking at how fast his mana is regenerating, it actually might be true.
So that's an exchange on more on the defensive because they can afford getting poked at because they have sustain.
Yeah, they
so
have
it
the
makes
sustain there.
It makes sense. Sustains.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense for, that's a little painful, but again, the ebb and flow there to keep him topped off there. So still, it's just going to be a little bit of trading and trying to get some more CS here for one of these bot lanes. Not a lot of action. Ooh, never mind.
Nice room prison there, but just a little exchange between Eiko and Trevor. But looking at the what do you call this? The vision of Cerberus eSports, I really like how they know where Moraito Boy is gonna gank, but I feel like they have this idea coming. It will not connect, but they will still try to pull this off. Bubble as well. The gank was not successful.
Not successful, yes. Going for it. The pressure is really on. Asian Arena very, very confident because they have the pressure and they have the fear that is instilled by that jungler. But looking at the ward coverage here, both of these teams actually have pretty impressive coverage of the river. The entrances are okay.
Oh no, that is a stun, actually not connecting, but still forces a flash away from Eiko. That is still a successful gank, despite Life Howling still not quite near, and no stun whatsoever coming from the Syndra. I feel like maybe, you know, better safe than sorry.
Yeah, better safe than sorry with a flash, but that means if Howling still wants to go for Eiko, he only has the ghost, and that's not a very reliable escape. It's more for the kiting and the chasing.
Yeah.
So it might be a repeat gank, but it seems like he knows what's up. Pushes out the lane and wants to recall.
Yeah. I kind of want to point out kanina yung nangyari sa Asian Arena bot lane where Mirmo dashes in to harass, but after nun, he landed the shot. But the problem was late si Beast Boy nag
Tide Power's blessing.
Yeah. Nag-E. So communication is important. So he could have gotten like 1 or 2 auto attacks with that slow.
Extra damage.
With extra damage.
As well.
So that is really important when making those bot lane trades. So maybe it's just a slight, you know, miscom. It's just a minor mistake. But then it counts a lot, especially when you're going to gank and that teeny tiny HP bar is left and the enemy survives. You know that moment would really count.
Yeah, that's true. And the importance of poking and trading here is a lot more important considering that they're facing off against Karma and Ezreal. So they really need to keep up with the trades, with the damage. And looks like Morita Boy still going with the pressure against Suzaku, just lurking in the top brush there. Seems like Suzaku's playing a lot safe though.
Yeah, maybe they're trying to bait it out. Let's see Suzaku advancing slowly and will spot. Oh my god, my fire senses are tingling. Cocoon will connect but too far off, quite near the tower.
Yeah, Suzaku knows he's being focused here by Morita Boy, so when he's advancing with a wave, he makes sure to stay behind the minions. So that means no web. The volatile spiderling will explode before reaching him. So good play there by Suzaku. It's the little things, it's the positioning that really helps against gankers such as Morita Boys and these.
Yeah, it's actually a beautiful lane to look at. Dinsa, Cerberus side, Suzaku playing this matchup really well. Jason landing a pillar and a very aggressive push just to chomp and trade. But I'm not quite sure if this is the right idea. And Jason will fall. Meanwhile, Acion Arena Beast Boy releases a tidal wave, Life Howling with a Ragnarok as well. And Mirmo gets exhausted. That'll be a red buff from Life Howling. Will not do any much damage at all. And that's a true shot barrage. A couple of trades of ultimates there. But still, no deaths whatsoever in the bot lane.
Look at Eiko though.
Oh no, hold that thought. There's Eiko. Where's the root person gonna land? Gonna be at Marky. Where's the heal? There's no heal, and Eiko will get the kill. Meanwhile, that Shadow in trouble. Mirmo still has the range, but Suzaku will come from behind. He's quite low. He has no mana, and that's right. Gonna be getting a double kill. Life Howling so low. Right the boy with the tower dive. That's gonna be the rappel, and Shadow with the flash as well. Double kill. Acion Arena with an explosive encounter in the bot lane.
1-4, and Trevor is playing with fire here.
Oh, I guess it's not over. Oh wait, it is over.
Yeah, it's all over but the crying. 4 kills for Acion Arena. And just that fearless 2v3, just kiting back with the culling. That was impressive coming from Mirmo, being able to just bravely fight, and then once the cavalry's there, they just go back in and get 4 kills off of it. And very well dived there by Morita Boy using the rappel to escape aggro.
That was well played. But the problem is, Rise did not technically teleport from far away.
Yeah.
Right? He still walked towards the river. Yeah, exactly. But the problem is, Keber came in late. If Keber was there, I feel like it would have been a different fight. Kulang na kulang sila
Yeah, that's true. Without the damage, without the burst from Trevor, that was definitely a missed opportunity there by Cerberus. And that's no excuse that Eiko has the Realm Warp.
Yeah.
You know that he's pushing in the lane. You know that he's trying to go down the river.
Yeah.
You who have a lot of tools to burst him down should be able to respond to that. And now Mirmo is carrying 4 assists versus the Nun and the 20 CS lead against Marky.
Yeah, and he got a lot out of that. 0-0-4. I mean, it's okay. You didn't get any kills, but you're still a part of it.
But the 2 kills there are also for the high damage leaders, Elise and Rise. So Eiko and Morita Boy are gonna have a nice time. Oh my god, the aggression comes from Mirmo.
Yeah, you really don't want to deal without Rise and give more kills to that, because that's not what you want. Meanwhile, here in the top lane, Howling and Morita Boy, here comes the counter gang. Cocoon will not connect due to the Ragnarok, and there's the axe as well. Morita Boy will not be able to catch him off guard, but Trevor here, dueling with Eiko will not work out well for you. Jason is in big trouble. He's trying to run away as well. A couple of more auto attacks upgrade. Cocoon just to deny Life Howling. Will the axe connect? No. Bitin na bitin. And Acion Arena will live again. No. Meanwhile, here comes the Realm Warp coming from the Rise, and Suzaku will be the next one to fall. Eiko showing off some swaggery masteries there on our screen. My god, Acion Arena is definitely in this game. Jesus.
Wow, 2 of their life bars pinging red and they still survive. The pressure is on the side of Acion Arena. And what is happening to Cerberus right now? Like, they overstay. They allowed Eiko to just Realm Warp on them and activate that 1 kill. So
yeah, the communication of Acion Arena, and they completely know where Cerberus is at. For some reason, Morita Boy is everywhere. It's like, okay, you know what? Life Howling is gonna be in the top lane. Oh, you know what? I'm here too. So
Yeah, that was impressive. Then Morita Boy really has been stepping up this game. It's
Yeah.
really, really impressive on that at least. And Trevor, trying to face off against Aiko, you should be able to respond to that roam to the top lane, but you don't need to face them one-on-one because you'll just lose to the DPS, especially since he has 2 Doran's rings, which is a lot of bonus health, and that matters a lot when facing someone with Roa, actually.
yeah, and just as we said, Olaf starts off really strong early. You have to make it work. Mid game, that's where Olaf shines, especially with all the squishies on the opposite side of Asian Arena. But the thing is, if you don't give opportunities for that sort of play,
That's
then
true.
Asian Arena will just completely shut down this Olaf. He keeps using the Ragnarok defensively, exactly, to run away, not to disrupt the backline. So it's Asian Arena shutting every single move of Cerberus.
Jason.
Oh no, that's gonna be Jason trying to trade off with Suzaku, winning that trade. Not actually a trade, that harass actually. Suzaku almost 1/4 HP actually. And Asian Arena moving towards his mid lane.
Asian Arena knows that they're in control with so many kills on their carry. Aiko is at 4 kills right now. There is no way that Trevor can 1v1 him. And the problem with Howling is he's 0, 1, and 0. The 7 CS difference between he and Morita Boy is nothing. He can't Ragnarok in, because that means Mirmo can just destroy him, kite him back with a Yomu's Ghost Blade, with a Relentless Pursuit away. So
Yeah.
it's really hard for Howling to take him down. And if he goes for Aiko, Aiko has 4 kills, lots of health and mana to keep him up. So it feels like Howling is just in a Kobayashi Maru situation
Yeah.
here, where
You know what I just
yeah.
realized? The problem with Cerberus' comp is CC.
that's true.
Olaf is like an AD Nidalee. Nidalee has to work with CC type, or else you wouldn't land the damage anyway. It's such a waste. Meanwhile, that's gonna be the bot lane. Asian Arena here to Zaku forced to use the Transmugulate Wild Growth, and that is gonna be an easy kill by the support. Asian Arena.
4K.
Dear God,
Yeah.
you're everywhere.
Suzaku, I feel, is out of his element right now.
Yeah.
I feel like the Lulu pick is not to his forte, because if you see him, you go Jace, you go, oh, Morita
Oh my
Boy.
God, Morita Boy, you're such a monster, Trevor. We'll have no
Wow.
counterplay on that whatsoever. Jesus, Asian Arena just really doing it.
Just popping off right now, exceeding expectations. Mirmo, fearless.
Fearless because they know that some of them are in the mid lane, and that's gonna be Mirmo getting snared. He has the red buff. He's very, very brave right now, and that is gonna be Suzaku in the top lane with
A
a
little
Thunderlord.
overconfident there.
Yeah, actually. They made a mistake.
Yeah, they made a mistake, but still though, it's in their hands. Morita Boy and Aiko get this mid lane turret. I do believe that is the first, not the second turret of the game. The first still went to Asian Arena, so they definitely have a lot of gold advantage here. And like I said, Suzaku out of his element, 3 kills on him, lots of damage, but Lulu is not a big carry. Lulu
Yeah.
is not a super AoE damage dealing CC
Yeah, she's
champion that
not.
Kennen would be.
It's understandable that Lulu is strong at this point in terms of damage, but it's just gonna fall off.
Oh no, he's gonna get killed again.
You have nowhere to run. Wild Growth we can use. Bubble will connect with all the CCs in the world. CCs in the world.
Oh.
And the kill will be given to Jason. Oh dear.
Feels like Suzaku has been misplaying a lot. I feel like it's a combination of the erroneous pick.
Yeah.
I was really doubtful about the Lulu, especially in this patch, in this meta. Especially when the AD carry is marking on that Ezreal.
Yeah, it's just a weird
It's such a
pick
weird
overall.
synergy.
Yeah.
It's
I
not a
mean,
really hyper carry.
Exactly.
Ezreal here.
And normally you put Wild Growth on a champion that deals consistent damage. These are casters. These are caster champions. So it's a bit awkward. Although, relatively low cooldown na casters, but still you're basically not maximizing the potential of what a Wild Growth can
And
do.
Howling could be a target for the Wild Growth, but
yeah, true.
currently at his gold, he has no say in any team fights. The damage is definitely not there.
Not at
and
all.
I think even with the relentless strike, I think he's just gonna keep killing himself with the damage, with the true damage on himself and the enemy.
True.
At this stage of the game, 3-10 with a 7K gold lead in Asian Arena. They've been controlling this match, the tempo very, very clearly, very, very dominantly, and it's all about Moraita Boy. I mean,
Yeah.
not all about Moraita Boy, but
Yeah.
he's been such a key in the lanes being so powerful here.
And the thing is, even though, let's just say, okay, Life Howling wants to disrupt the using Ragnarok, there's still the pillar of Handle. So, it's basically sa composition sa drafting pa lang, Asian Arena had it in terms of when you do this, we have this. When you do that, we're gonna do this. So, okay, Cocoon will connect. I'm not sure if there's gonna be a follow-up. Looks like they will follow it up, but just gonna try to scare them away.
But Cerberus is getting pushed out of their own jungle. This is not Cerberus territory right now. The dogs have not peed in this part of the jungle. It's Asian Arena's territory. So
Yeah.
that's the power level that Cerberus has right now. The picks that they've drafted, they have not been able... Oh, Howling.
Okay, Cocoon will not connect. That's alright.
Not connect, but they're scared to get out of their own jungle here. And this is giving all of the resources to Asian Arena, giving them the opportunity to transition to a siege here in the bot lane.
Yeah,
Yes.
and they're actually forced to, let Lulu stop pushing the top lane because she has no teleport. They definitely want to contest this one because this is the fire element.
Yeah. It's gonna help. Cerberus needs this.
Yeah, they do.
Because it's gonna help them keep up with the fights, with the damage that they lack. Because Marky and Howling are this far behind, and Trevor as well.
Yeah, finally, this is a 5v5, so let's see if it's gonna work. Oh my god, the Dragon just immediately gets eliminated by Asian Arena without no contest whatsoever. Life Howling does have the wild growth, but he will just be bounced by those crazy balls from Rise. Those energy balls, rather. Suzaku is just gonna explode from the damage coming from Asian Arena, and only Trevor and Shadow are the only ones left on Cerberus side. They're forced to run, no casualties for Asian Arena. They even get a dragon to boot. I am not sure, man. This is just
It's an 8K gold lead now.
8K gold lead, and what we have been saying,
Trevor, where are you going?
I'm pretty sure they want that kill.
They definitely want that kill,
yeah,
but
they're
no.
just no.
They actually want this Baron, and even though they get chunked down by this Baron, it's still so dangerous for Cerberus to try and contest this. And look at how fast it falls. At this stage of the game, that's a 21-minute Baron.
A tanky Rise, a 701, Moraita Boy 305, 017 Ocean, already 2-item power spike, Black Cleaver, Yomu's Ghost Blade. They're in a very sweet spot right now. They could, as I've said earlier, Asian Arena, when they get the lead, they just keep going and going and going.
They are in a position to force the victory here.
Yeah.
They have lots of tools. They have the Fire Drake. They have a 7-0-1 Rise.
Yeah.
They just keep throwing overloads for days. And all of that damage bounce from the runes will just decimate Cerberus.
Yeah, and Syndra is probably nowhere near the second item just yet. Although I'm not sure kung ilan yung gold niya ngayon, pero based on what I see on the inventory at this point, needlessly large rod. If ever Asian Arena just keeps going, syempre wala kang time mag-farm. You can't, and the territory is just so constricted on CRB side because they keep bothering them. They keep, hey, don't farm. We're here now. Protect the
They're getting so many turrets. They're getting so much value out of this Baron buff. And you were definitely right when Asian Arena's, when you said that Asian Arena likes suffocating their opponents before going for the kill. They are a constrictor snake and just destroying these buildings here. 3 towers down in the span of what, 2 minutes? That is insane.
So fast. Anyway, Life Howling is gonna get rooted by the Ruined Prison, and looks like Jason has successfully eliminated the turret in the bot lane. Moraita Boy, where's the Kaboom gonna land? You're crazy with those skill shots. Life Howling forced Ragnarok, and Marky almost dies there. I think Trevor hasn't landed a really good stun just yet. So
Yeah.
now, with the rotations in the bot lane,
Oh, no.
again land. Look at those CCs, and that's gonna be the tidal wave knocking up Shadow. It's just gonna explode, and it's gonna
They
die
want
from
this
that.
inhibitor.
Oh my God, Asian Arena, what a scary team.
Wow.
They win this, man. They're winning this. Aiko just casually walking around the base of Cerberus Esports and finding a pick. Lulu's gone. Cerberus Esports, they're the Leg 2 champions.
They're just, what is happening here? It seems like Asian Arena, whoa.
Oh my God, Mirmo dashing in, flashing in, gets destroyed by the Syndra, but the Rune Prison from Aiko, look at that. He's just a
Wow.
monster,
Look at the
10-0-1. Exactly, 3-shot barrage, will not eliminate Moraita Boy, but they are focusing, they have eyes on
Nexus
the prize.
turrets.
Yes, you know what, never mind the champions, we want the objectives, we want this win, we
They're
want to
playing with
face
so much
Mineski.
fire here with their low health.
Oh
Okay,
my,
get
okay.
sniped.
Yeah, it's not yet over. Is it time to go home now? I guess so. Nami might be in
The
trouble
sacrificial
here.
fish.
Yeah, sacrificial fish. Nice salmon.
But imagine the value that Asian Arena got from that. They got
So
two
much.
inhibitors, both of the Nexus turrets, so now they can just recuperate. They had a lot of gold from that fight. So now they get
Yeah.
more stats to overpower Cerberus. And sobrang labo na may magagawa ang Cerberus to turn this around. They're
Yeah.
behind 15k.
They are. And
And-
all Asian Arena has to do is just go back.
Go back and it's like, how can you, it's weird, it's so hard for Cerberus to outplay them at this stage of the game, because if they try to outplay them outside of their base, they just get destroyed.
Yeah.
If they try to outplay them in their base, they just go straight for the Nexus.
True.
So really, both of these situations, both of these choices that are presented to Cerberus just lead to instant death,
Yeah.
or rather no, a slow and painful death.
Slow and painful death. And we already set our conditions. If Cerberus Esports doesn't get this early, they lose.
Yeah, I was saying all Asian Arena has to do is keep with the pace of Cerberus. But
Yeah.
they exceeded that. They outpaced Life Howling. They outpaced Suzaku. And that has been the huge key here for Asian Arena. Shadow really needs to rethink after this game.
Yeah.
It's a best of one, but they really need to rethink after this game the dynamics, because considering the meta, the composition that they drafted is so strange, is so
Yeah.
ineffective in this matchup here.
It's very, what do you call this? It's quite linear, because again, the Lulu, the Olaf, no CCs, okay, that's gonna be the tidal wave. They're already onto the Nexus.
Legendary.
And legendary, Asian Arena, Aiko, that'll be a double kill for the Rise as well. Shadow will be the next casualty. And everything is just falling apart for Cerberus Esports. And Asian Arena are just trying to pick off champions from the fountain, but congratulations! Asian Arena will be facing Mineski tomorrow at the MPGL Finals. That was intense.
That was intense. That was quick, and that was painful for
Yeah.
Cerberus. And I bet
Whew.
if once Manjean watches the VOD for this, it's like, you know, this is the trend. When Atlas predicts a team will win,
Yeah,
the team will lose.
I know.
Manjean's gonna have a field day with me, but I feel like Moraita Boy really has a lot of deserving a lot of kudos for this game, because I have no words of how much pressure he put out, how he matched the rotations of his opposing jungler, of Life Howling. It was
Yeah.
impressive, and the follow-up from his teammates, it seemed like they were on the same page, even with a little bit of nuance in the bot lane. Well, you mentioned with the Tidecaller's blessing, being a little late with the trade, but overall, it was just so impressive for them to outpace Cerberus Esports.
Yeah, and we already mentioned how aside from the Lulu being an awkward pick for the composition,
Yeah, Suzaku
the
on
Olaf
Lulu.
pick was also awkward. I mean, we already said you want to make kills during the early game. You want to try to snowball because you need Syndra, you need Ezreal to work because they deal slow DPS. Okay, burst TC Syndra, but
it
then
needs a lot of setup as
you
well.
really need a lot of setup. But the problem is, lane at the top, no hard CC. The only hard CC that you will find is in the mid lane with Syndra's stun. So, if you want to make the Olympic work, it's not really maximized. So, a lot of things not in favor of Cerberus, and Asian Arena really executed their composition
Yeah,
so
they
well.
exploited the weaknesses that Cerberus presented to them, and they just pounced.
Yeah.
So, congratulations. That was a well-deserved win.
Yeah.
That was clean as hell.
Very clean. So again, congratulations to Asian Arena. You guys will be facing Mineski
Mineski.
tomorrow. So abangan nyo yung match na yan. Finals na. I seriously don't know who's gonna
Grand
win
finals.
right now.
And yeah, it's like statistically before Asian Arena, I guess Mineski has this easy. But after this showing, they're impressive. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Yeah, guys, just as he said, look forward to tomorrow. Again, we are your Shoutcasters. I am Riku.
And I'm Atlas.
See you guys later.
What the hell was that?